Okay, we're recording.
Cool. Okay, welcome everybody to our Root to Rise team call. Thank you so much for being on. We have so many new faces. If this is your first time being on the team call, welcome. We're so excited that you're here. Tonight, my good friend Ellen is going to be talking to us. Ellen's from California, and she was just on the leadership retreat with me out in Utah that our upline coach, Amy Silverman, hosted for us. It was amazing. We saw moose. We're going to get tattoos. It was pretty cool. So Ellen is a Success Club starter, which means that in the first 3 months of her business, she hit Success Club, which is a really, really big deal because you earn your free ticket to Summit. She's a team leader, which we hit to earn the trip that we just took. She went full-time in May, so that's awesome and amazing. And she's a Success Club All-Star legend. So Success Club All-Star means that you've hit Success Club, so that's helping 3 people a month for 1 year, and then a Success Club All-Star Legend is 2 years plus. So right now she's been in Success Club for over 24 months, which is badass. And she's been a coach for almost 3 years. So Ellen, we're super, super excited that you're here tonight. So we're just going to give you the floor. Take it away. Logan, please mute me.
All right. Oh my God. Oh, excited. Can you guys hear me okay? We're good? Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to chat with you guys. Emma and I have been coaching for about the same time. I think that Emma, you signed up maybe 1 or 2 months after I did. And it's so cool. You guys seriously have an incredible upline coach. And I'm so excited to see some of your guys' faces and get to know you a little bit better tonight. So thank you so much for inviting me to be on your call, Emma. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my story, just as a coach, as a new coach, how I got to kind of where I'm at today. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. And then what I really want to do and share with you guys tonight is talk about your vision and your short-term vision specifically, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but fall is right around the corner. Before you know, Christmas is going to happen, Q4, all the crazy fun stuff that's coming up that Beachbody has planned. I really want you guys to think about how these next couple months in your business can really set you up for an incredible new year. It's kind of crazy, thinking about it already, but I have some tips as far as figuring out your vision, what you want to go for, and I'm going to share with you guys some tips about that and some of my best practices and things that really, really help me stay in my own lane and not lose focus, because there's a lot of stuff going on this time of year. So I'm here to help you guys make sure that you stay on track and that you blow your business out of the water at the same time. So I've been a coach for a little over 3 years now, and I actually didn't even start working my business seriously until 6 months into it. So I was kind of a late bloomer, if you will. I was helping a few people every single month my first 6 months, but it was mostly just by proxy with sharing my results and being really attuned to social media and just posting and talking about my journey because I was so excited. And I came into this knowing that I did want to work the business and become a coach and supplement my income at the very least at my job, but my goal was to become my own boss again. I came into Beachbody actually with previous MLM company experience. I was self-employed from the time I was 19 until I was about 22, and I worked for an at-home party plan type of company. It was super fun in college, and it was my jam. And then I went to college. I majored in hospitality management. I got a job selling wine. I was super into the whole restaurant and hotel thing. And then I realized, okay, I need to try out this whole corporate America thing. So enter desk job, working 12 hours a day for an advertising company, and I was super not happy. So I came across Amy on social media. That's probably how you guys may have connected with your upline coach too, and I followed her for 8 months. I wanted to get into shape for my wedding, and I was so unhappy with how my life was going, from the top to the bottom, inside out. I was super stressed. I wasn't eating healthy, and I knew that I needed to make a change. So I signed up for my first challenge group, 21 Day Fix Extreme, and 2 weeks into it, I was like, this is insane. I have to become a coach. Like, I already knew about the opportunity, but I was all in after I tried everything out for 2 weeks. So that's kind of how I got started. But January is a really special month. I'm just kind of talking about what I want to get into with the call, because that was the month, January 2016, that I really decided to go all in with this business. And it had been about 6 months of like dabbling and putting, sticking my toe in the water and like sending out a few invites here or there, like adding a few friends, but only people who like I knew from high school that I was too chicken to like talk to or, like reconnect with. It wasn't like me expanding my cold market those 6 months. So I really was doing like the bare minimum that like a brand new coach should be doing. And finally, sitting at my desk, it was January. We had just finished the crazy end of the year thing that happens with advertising. Everyone's, it's the craziest time of the year. And I was like, you know what? I'm ready to do this. I was listening to a podcast. If you haven't listened to Shalene Johnson, she's super cool. I get a lot out of them. I did when I first became a coach, at least, and she's funny. But she was talking about making a push goal. And push goal, I was like, what is this? Like, I've never heard of a push goal. Like, I have my one goal to like never pay for my Shakeology again, but like, what is this? And so I made it my goal to hit Success Club 75, like in total, my first 6 months in the year. So by June 2016, I wanted to have 75 Success Club points on the board. I don't even know why I picked 75. 100 was like way too scary. 50 was like meh. So I just went, split the difference and I picked 75. And I missed it by like, I think 6 or 8 points. So if I hadn't set that goal in the very beginning of the year, then I probably wouldn't have pushed myself and I probably would have gotten a lot less. So push goals are super important, but it was more so than that. I didn't just write out like, I want to hit Success Club 75. I wrote out, what it's going to mean for me in terms of commissions and how that would help me pay off my debt faster. And I really tied a lot of meaning to achieving this number, because numbers, they're a big part of our lives. They're a big part of our business. But that's not the whole story. Everything that we do in life is either, avoidance of pain or pursuit of pleasure. And everything that we do is driven by wanting to feel a certain way. So I really thought about how I would feel if I got to that goal, like how many people I would help, how many lives I would change. What were the words that came to mind when I did think about that? Like those feelings that I was chasing at my, that I wasn't getting out of my day job, like how could I create that also in the process of achieving this goal? So I had a vision. I created my first vision and I redid everything that I thought about why I wanted to do this business. Your why is so important, but also understanding like what you're pushing for in a very specific amount of time is important too. And there's a distinction between your why and your vision. And so I redid everything, because when I first got into this business, my goal was like to make $500 extra a month to help pay off my husband's student loan debt, which is a great goal. That is not a bad goal by any means. And I said that was my why. Like that was my why for doing this. And it was so wrong. Like my why was to feel a certain way. And it wasn't to pay off somebody else's debt that I had taken on because I got married. That was not exciting enough. And that's probably why it took me 6 months to really get the wheels turning with my business, was because I wasn't being driven emotionally and being attached to that. So I don't know if you guys have your vision written out on paper yet. I don't know if you've ever created a vision board, but I'm going to talk to you about both and why both of those mediums are really, really important. Because we're humans, we're really complex beings. Sometimes we need to hear something, sometimes we need to see something, and other times we need to read something. I am I learn in a lot of different ways, and it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in with like what I need to be inspired by in the moment. I bounce around from audiobooks to regular books, like I'm all over the place. So the more places and the more mediums that I have my vision and my goals written out on, the better I'm going to be. So I'm going to talk to you guys about writing out your vision and creating your vision board also, and then we'll talk about this incredible exercise that is going to link all of it together for you in a really fun and just like super juicy way. Okay, so writing out your vision board. This is like the bomb. So I want you to really think about, first off, your feelings, okay? So pick like 3 words, and I hope you guys have pen and papers out. Go ahead and like make notes. And if, you know, you can always come back to this call also. It's something that I think we have to hear a couple times for things to like kind of click. But think about 3 words, okay? I like 3, you know, 3 is a good number. It's nice and balanced, but you can pick as many words as you want to, but I like to pick 3 that I like to focus on and have like 1 really, really big word and then 2 kind of like supporting words. So think about like some things that you want to feel, okay? And think of like the next 4 months, okay? So January 1st, 2019, all right? Put yourself in that moment, right? You wake up after New Year's Eve, however you spent the New Year's Eve, doesn't matter, like it's a brand new year. What do you want to have accomplished in these last 3.5 months of the year, okay? How do you want to feel when you wake up on that day? Do you want to feel completely like exuberant because you completely crushed your goal of ending the year as a 1-star diamond coach? Do you want to feel like freaking fearless because you invited more people in December to the Transform 20 like pre-sale group than you ever have before, and you totally went outside your comfort zone, and you're so excited to see like what those results pan out to be the next few months? Like, how do you want to feel? Okay, with your business specifically. Let's talk about the business side first, all right? Because that's why we're all here. So think about how you want to feel about your business. All right, and my words, my power words that I created the last time that I did this exercise were joy, feeling vibrant, and also feeling fearless. Okay, so like if it's not making me happy, then why do anything? So always feeling really joyous, being vibrant, having that, you know, that aura on your social media that just makes people smile when they scroll across your newsfeed, even if you're talking about something that isn't so fun or sexy. Like those are the things that really I'm attached to, and the feelings that I try to chase every single day. And I haven't done my vision yet for the new year, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this after this call. So think about those 3 words, all right? And feel free to write them in the chat box or share them later on too. It's super cool to see what people's words are if you already know what that is. All right, so then what I want you guys to really think about are your business. All right, so let's talk about, you know, the things that really drive you. And I'm not talking like, I want to hit Success Club like 10 or like hit Success Club. Like I'm talking like life-changing stuff that can happen if you completely go all in with your business. You know, do you want to be on stage at Summit giving a training one day? Do you want to be like speaking on a national wake-up call? Do you want to be hosting your own team call with a bunch of awesome babes just like this, except you're the one leading it? Like, what kind of things do you want to have happen in your business, all right? And then break it down to what you can do in the next 3.5 months to get there, okay? So what are you gonna have accomplished towards that big vision in the next 3.5 months? How will you wake up on January 1st, 2019? Where will you be in progress of pursuing that vision that you have for your business, okay? And that should all tie in with those feelings too, right? Like when you accomplish that thing, not even when you accomplish the big thing, but when you get a little bit closer, maybe someone asks you to speak on their team call, or maybe, you know, you talk at like Super Saturday, or maybe you help like 20 people in a month, like more than you ever have before, whatever that is. You know, you're going to be able to create that feeling in that moment, all right? You don't have to wait, like, you don't have to play the long game to feel that way. You can give yourself that permission to feel that way, A, right now after this call, or as we're talking about it, and B, when you wake up on January 1st, okay? So think about your business. And then secondly, I want you to think about, or thirdly, I guess, think about the different areas in your life that you want to make progress in. What do you really, like, what really would move the needle forward for you holistically in your life? Okay, because we've got our business, but we also have our relationships, our spirituality, our personal, you know, journey that we're on, as well as, you know, family, and other things too. So, you know, think about a couple key areas and things that maybe you've been putting on the back burner that you really would like to dive forward into as well, because hopefully you're all coaching because you want to live a better, more fulfilling life, and having relationships and having this like nice holistic view of wellness in every area, I think is a really, really big deal. So, I mean, we're all working really hard towards our dreams, and that includes all these different areas. So think about, how you like your relationships to be. Do you want to create more fulfilling friendships in your day-to-day, everyday lives? Do you want to have a deeper, like, romantic connection with your significant other? What kind of things would you like to happen in the next 3.5 months also? That's going to give you a framework to really decide, okay, like, I want this, so I want to have a better relationship with my husband. Okay, so I'm going to commit to having date night 2 nights a week instead of, working 12 hours straight and be on my phone. Like, little things like that are steps that you can take towards creating that too. So don't just think about the business. Obviously, it's a really, really big part, and it's going to be, that thing that moves the needle forward in all the other areas of your life and gives you options, right? Because when our businesses are off the hook, we get, great commission, we earn money, and money gives us options in our life. And I don't know about you guys, but I love options. Options make the world go around. It's not money, it's the options that it gives us. And it's just an exchange of energy anyways. And so, the more that you think about your vision, the more you show up to it every single day between now and January, then the more it's going to manifest itself in the new year too. I really, really, really believe that. Okay, so write all this stuff out, like stream of consciousness, just let it all go. Maybe have some tea, wake up, get some coffee tomorrow morning or before you go to bed tonight, and just write. Think about these things that I just covered and just let it all out, like exactly how you want to wake up. All right, this is 3.5 months down the road. It's completely achievable. It should be things that are going to push you, but it's in the realm of possibility, right? If you really, really just dial things in and focus on, what's working and changing things that aren't working in the next few months. So next, once you have it written out, then what I like you guys to do is go ahead, and what really helps me is create a vision board. That is a visual representation of all these things that you've written out and attached yourself to, okay? So I like to use Canva. It's my favorite because I am not graphically design inclined, very graphically challenged. My husband went to art school. He went to a fancy art school, and he's like, can you why did you put that font there? Why do you have 3 different fonts and like this neon color? And this was like when I first started coaching. I was like, oh yeah, well, it's fun. So Canva's great because it gives you a really nice platform to make something that's nice and visually appealing. You can always cut out stuff from magazines and things like that too, but like we live in a digital world, we have a digital business. So I like to use the photo collages on Canva. And then just go on Google and like find images that represent your feelings. You can write out your feelings, like what those words are in really fun text, however you want to. I won't judge you if you do a funny font in neon. It's like your vision board. You do whatever you want to do, girlfriend. And then, yeah, the images don't have to be specific to like your actual dream, okay? Because when I made a vision board the last time I did it, I was like, I'm so type A in certain things in my life. And I was like, I want to find the house that I want, like my dream home that's like in the dream place. So it was like a Mendocino beach house. And I was like, I looked up Zillow and I was like, beach houses in Mendocino and how much do they cost? And like, I tried to find this exact house, and I was just like, I wasted like 2 hours of my life doing that. Going down the rabbit hole of the vision board. So just find something that represents your feeling that goes there. So I have a nice, beautiful photo of like the Northern California coastline. That's it. And what I love about that too is that it's achievable in the next 3.5 months. Like going to your dream place that you eventually want to settle down at, things like that. It's not like buying the dream home or moving or going on the crazy, the Euro trip or whatever it is. It's about doing little things that you can this next few months to feel that way. and to make that available to you sooner, all right? So that's why I like doing this kind of short-term thinking about your vision and your goal board, because it makes things much more accessible and available to you in the moment. And that's what I think is really inspiring, especially because you have the power to change it whenever. And, you know, if you have this grand plan that's like years and years and years out, like it kind of feels so final. And I don't know, I mean, I'm more about what I can have like in the moment. I'm a very impulsive person. So if you feel me on that level, then this will be really fun for you too. So find all those images. It doesn't have to be specific, and just have fun, play around with it. You can print it out, post it up a couple different places in your house, right by where you like to work your business, wherever you want to. But I like having that visual, and then also having the written context of everything that I want to accomplish in the next, you know, near future, in the next quarter. If you want to dive a little bit deeper into the actual technical things you need to do to get there, what I highly recommend doing, and I won't go into it because it's a lot of stuff, but the 12-week year is an incredible platform to really just dial in the daily and weekly habits that you need to start forming and the actions that you have to take in order to get to where you want to be January 1st of this year. I love it. And then another option is Your Best Year Ever by Darren Hardy. So I've done both of those formats. They're both incredible. There's a lot of similarities between them. And it's really going to give you a holistic overview of your entire life, you know, all the different categories and how you'd like to improve them. So I recommend doing that, you know, simultaneously as you go through and you create your vision board. It's a really good thing to get the wheels turning. There are exercises in those two books, and you can get them on audiobook. I think there even might be like a free copy floating around somewhere. So if you get your hands on that, that's going to walk you through creating your vision also, and kind of syncing it backwards over the next quarter. All right. So I love that. I'm a really tactical person. I like having a written out plan. I don't use it all the time, like actually check the boxes physically, but I like having that mental game plan. I did this. I did the 12-week year. The first quarter of this year, it was the first time that I ever did it, and I stuck with it, like the actual actions, and I did them. And I accomplished every single thing. I had 3 goals the first quarter of this past year, and I accomplished all of them. I didn't almost accomplish them. I accomplished every single one of them, and I think it's because I was so organized going into it. So you guys have, you know, 3 weeks before Q4 starts. So that's plenty of time to go through either of those books and really, really dial things in and dig super deep and know what your outcome is, right? Because you're doing your vision board and you're writing it down. So I don't know, I love goal setting. I'm like a goal setting junkie. So I think that it's a lot of fun. I love doing it every quarter. I'm like, yes, I get to do the 12-week year again. I can't wait. So that being said, I'm gonna get into like the thing that's gonna tie all of this together. All right, so you've got your vision, you've got your things that you want to accomplish the next 3.5 months. Now we're gonna talk about, okay, you need to do all these different things. What happens when you don't feel like doing them? All right, what is the one thing that holds you back from actually doing the things that you know you need to do every single day to get to this goal that you're gonna set for yourself, all right? And I'm going to give you my one secret that gets me into action no matter what, okay? You guys ready for this? This is what I do. I play my pump-up song, and I have a pump-up song that is like my juju. It's like my thing. Like you have that song that you play and you can't help but sing along, feel really good and tingly and want to dance, and like it just gets you out of any funk, okay? But it's not just listening to music, okay? If it was that simple, everybody would do it, okay? What I want you guys to do, and what really works well for me, is I actually have a physical connection to that song and to my vision simultaneously. So what I'll do is I'll read my vision that I have written out, and then I'll look at the images that I have. I put myself in that moment of actually feeling all the things that I want to feel. So my 3 power words, I feel everything. Place myself, you know, on stage speaking at Summit. Place myself, you know, making the phone call to pay off the, you know, last of my debt, or If you're thinking shorter term, waking up on January 1st, saying, oh my gosh, I'm a 5-star Diamond Elite coach. Whoa, crazy. Like, put yourself in that moment. Okay, you're waking up. This is how you feel when you wake up. All right, think about all those things. Then play the song, and you're gonna have a physical connection to that now. Okay, so get up, dance, get excited. Don't just sit there and like sway, like get super freaking physical, just like, and when you have that connection, you're gonna like connect the neurons in your brain. Okay, I'm not a neuroscientist, so I don't know all the great terminology, but you're gonna make this neurological connection to your vision and the song. And so the magic is whenever you hear that song, you're gonna think about your vision. You're gonna think about all this stuff that you want to accomplish when you don't feel like doing it. So like if I wake up in the morning and I'm having a poopy day, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to invite anybody. Like, I don't even want to post on social media. I have days like that. I'm a full-time coach. I've been coaching full-time since May of this year. And it is not easy, guys. Like, I wake up and I have off days. I have off weeks just like everybody else. And so when I feel that way, I revisit my vision. I listen to that song. I put myself in that moment. And then I'm ready to take on my inbox. And you see all the messages coming in and you're like, I wonder if that's a yes, or that person's totally a no. And it's like, that is like the thing that I hate doing every day. So when I can place myself in that moment and be so excited because I just pumped myself up and I'm like, got my vision top of mind and I feel good, I'm tingly, my posture's good, like I'm ready to attack my inbox no matter what is waiting for me in the morning. So when you do that, I think that it just makes everything so much more fun. It makes sure that you're having a really good time, which is great because why would we do anything if we weren't having a good time? And it's gonna just connect all the dots for you. That was the one thing that was missing for me in terms of goal setting and connecting, was having that very physical connection. Because we can listen to something, we can look at something, we can read something, but when we connect our body to it in that way, it's so powerful. And it's one of those things that once you do it, you can't undo it. Like I literally cannot undo that connection that I have to my song and my vision. If I tried, I couldn't do it. I'm always gonna remember it. I'm never gonna be able to listen to my songs again without thinking about it. So it's a really powerful tool that you can use. And I don't know if you guys follow Tony Robbins, but his priming exercises inspired me to do that, which I love too. If you need a really, really great tool to get yourself ready in the morning, I love his priming exercise. But has anybody been to UPW? Raise your hand if you have. Nobody? Okay, go to UPW. Make it a point to go. It's like $500 or something, or at least it was when I went with the coach discount. And it's a business write-off, it's a tax write-off. Like it's something you should invest in yourself. You will get back, 10 times what you invest in yourself. Always, always, always with your business. So I loved it though, because at UPW, it's a very physical conference. He gets you up from your seat and like dancing, and you're dancing like a crazy person, okay? And you're like, I don't know why I'm dancing, but like I feel really good after doing it. And that's how you stay energized for like 14-hour days when you're at his conferences. And so after I got back from UPW a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, okay, like this is insane. This is a great tool. And then I finally put the two together, and boom, that exercise came alive, and it's changed my business. It's changed the way that I show up every single day. And that's what I've got for you tonight. That's like my thing. That's the thing that works so well for me. That, the 12-week year, and just having a really clear vision of what you want to accomplish every single quarter, that's what's going to move your business forward and take it to monumental places. I mean, if I hadn't been doing this consistently the last year or so, I don't know where my business would be, but you're gonna blink and then all of a sudden one day it's all gonna connect and it's all gonna just like start growing and growing and growing. And you're gonna be like, how did this happen? Or like, what is going on with my life? Like, what is this like weird exponential thing going on? It's because of the time that you put in, It's because of you showing up every single day, no matter what, for staying inspired and staying attached and connected to your journey and your vision, and never giving up. And so if you have all those things in place, and if you're listening to your song and staying inspired no matter what, then you're going to be incredibly, wildly successful with this and anything else that you want to accomplish in life outside of your coaching business. So that's what I've got for you guys tonight. I hope that was super helpful and exciting, and I guess we can open it up for questions if you guys have any. I'll go ahead and look at the chat box too. I tend to not look at them on calls because I have like a scroll brain, so I get really distracted. The free version of Canva, yes, Jan. I don't pay for Canva.
Yes, Jan. Sorry, Ellen. I'm on my mom's account because Logan's on mine.
Oh, there you are. Oh,
yeah. I was trying to figure out how to unmute myself.
I was
yeah.
like, oh, Emma's mom's on the call. That's exciting. I don't even pay attention.
Jan's in about everything, though.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much. That was such a great call. I think the one thing that I really pulled from it is, so when Ellen and I were in Utah, we went to corporate and we met with Jeff Hill, and his whole thing was focus, focus, focus. And it's really easy. Like, I'm the type of person, and Ellen and I even talked about this. We're like, okay, we're going to focus on this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And all of a sudden you have this like laundry list of goals that you're like, holy shit, like, how am I supposed to focus on this? And then that thing that you were going to accomplish, that thing that you were going to like start making moves on, it turns into this giant mountain, and it seems a lot scarier. And so what I want to recommend that you guys do is, instead of, so the thing about a push goal is that when you set this goal, it'll push you hard, but it's also, when you hit that goal, it's going to help you accomplish other things. So it's like saying you want to be a diamond coach, because when you're a diamond coach, you're going to have like your week leg volumes, or like, let's say team leader. Like, usually for my new coaches, I like to set team leader by the end of the year as their goal. And so what that, if you don't know what that is, go ahead and Google it, or use Coach FAQ. That's our coach Google. But if you said like team leader as your goal, the thing that that'll do is, it'll bump you up through income. It will push you to get to diamond. It'll be pushing you to hit Success Club. And so by setting this one goal, it's actually helping you achieve all these others. So that's a really great way to start your push goal process and to like think about those. But also, like, don't make it something that's so terrifying and so out of your league, like, especially as a new coach. Like, we have so many new people on this, and for a lot of people, like, you guys could set Emerald as your first goal, or hitting Success Club 10 in your first month, or like success starters. So I think those are really great. And then as far as those words, so I wrote down that I wanted to be empowered, radiant, and dedicated. And what I was thinking about is, like, so we were talking a lot about, so social media is obviously our business. And when you edit your photos and when you're posting on your social media, it can be really easy to just kind of slap something up. And so I want to just encourage you guys to set the precedent, like, as a new coach, when you're posting on social media, on your Instagram stories, like, I think that's free game. And like, you guys, I usually don't have makeup on. I'm like, but like, I just try to keep it really, really real with people so that they still get that side of me. But your post, like your page, your Instagram page, so that feed, when people come and look at you, you want to have a little bit of wow factor. And so when I'm posting, like, I haven't used these trigger words, but I think this is a really great idea. So like, when I'm posting, I'm going to ask myself, is this post look empowered? Like, is my verbiage empowering? Do I look like a badass queen? Like, do I look like that woman who I want to become? Is it radiant? So is the light good? You know, whether that's like the physical aesthetics, or is it me like looking really happy and beaming out? And then does it make me look dedicated? Because I think it's nice to offer yourself as, like, you can sometimes be a hot mess, but I think it's also great to know that you can be really. What? Can you hear me?
Your service was like not good.
Oh!
It was like slow motion talking.
Oh no. Okay.
You're better.
Well, then I'm gonna stop talking.
You're better now, I think. It's just like in and out, but.
Okay. Well, I was just saying, like, asking yourself, like, picking those 3 words, and then when you post on social media, like, every single time, is this representing my vision statement? Is this doing what you're doing? I think it's also really good to have it. I'm like Ellen, where I like need to learn in different ways. So I read my vision and then I have it as my background and then I have these different triggers. Ellen, I'm curious, what is your pump up song?
Okay, so I have 3. Well, actually, that's not true. I have 2 that really do it for me. So my original pump up song is Higher by The Naked and Famous.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. They're like my favorite band ever. They're from New Zealand, and I feel like a lot of people maybe don't know about them, but they're so underrated. I love them. And then my second song, which is new, Thank You Live For, and the playlist on Spotify, because I found some incredible songs on there. My next one is The Champion by Carrie Underwood, and it's like a Wiz Khalifa like duo or something. And I don't listen to Carrie Underwood all the time. She has a great voice. I love her voice. Oh my God, I heard that song and I was like, this is my song.
That's my song
I've been playing it on repeat the last like month. So
Logan, isn't that your song too?
Yeah.
Yay! Awesome. We're song twins.
I know.
And it can be your pump up song too. Like if you guys ever, if you hear about somebody else's song, it's like, oh, I can't have that be my song. It's this girl's song. No, your song is whatever song you want it to be. Okay, it doesn't matter how popular or unpopular it is. Like, and sometimes you don't know. Like if you're thinking about this and you're like, I don't know what that song is. Like I haven't found my song yet. It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Like just start browsing and it will come to you. I promise. If you put it out there in the universe, your song will come to you. So.
Yeah, and I think it'd be good. Like for me, music is such a huge thing, and I found that when I like don't listen to music, or when I'm, like even when I'm working out, when I'm like trying to be really focused, or like sometimes I'll try to listen to a podcast, it just doesn't do the same thing for me. And so I have like a playlist when I'm gonna sit down and work my business. I have a playlist that's like set up just for that, and it helps me to kind of stay focused and in tune. Another thing that I wanted to offer you guys is like, for me, like this bit, like Beachbody became such an easier thing for me to do when I started to create this habit around it. And so number one, like if this is your first time on the call, you guys, it's like you're learning a brand new language when you're starting out with Beachbody. Like you have to learn, like you have to go through the new coach training, you have to go through your first challenge. And so if we're saying a lot of things right now that you don't understand, that's okay. And that's totally normal, because that's how Ellen and I were as new baby coaches. We were like, what the hell is she saying? Like we had no idea what was going on, or like our first time in Summit. But the only way that you can be unsuccessful in this business is if you stop showing up. So stop showing up for your business, stop showing up for your health and wellness, stop showing up on your social media. So like really all you have to do is put in the time, and it's going to start to grow. But for me, like just the same as you're establishing these new like workout habits and like, eating healthier foods or drinking X amount of water every day, your business has to become a habit. And so if it feels like you're pulling teeth for your first couple months, it's okay. And like, it's totally okay to feel that way, because I still have those months. Like I was having that up until our last trip to Utah, because I was just feeling super uninspired and super disconnected. And it was also my fault because I wasn't being super active like in our other team pages. But so if you can find something that helps you to make it a habit. And so for me, it's like waking up and working at the same time every day. Because if I do it, it's like, it's just habit and it just clicks in. And so that kind of helps. Ellen, do you have any more tips on like creating habits or kind of realizing what's not serving you?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think that in creating a habit also is you have to really understand that you can always tweak it along the way too. I'm one of those people who I will like set up a plan and I'll make it so rigid almost that like it doesn't work for me, and then I have to like go back to the drawing board. So don't be afraid to like try new things with creating your routine. If you are somebody who like naturally gets energy at 9 o'clock at night, and like that's the best time of your day to like work your business and it serves you in that moment, work after dinner, after you have family time or whatever. Like you don't have, just because you hear like of different routines and stuff and maybe it doesn't work for you, doesn't mean that like that's the only way to do it also, especially as a newer coach. I, have tried so many times to be a 5 o'clock riser, just as all the successful CEOs in the world are, and things like that. And you know what? I'm not a happy person when I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. My body likes to wake up at 7 a.m. So that is how I've designed my morning routine over the times of the day when I am naturally most inspired and energetic and productive. So if you try something, give it a good shot. Don't try it for like 2 days and just give up and be like, this routine does not work for me. Like really go back to the drawing board and think, okay, well, what's working? What isn't? Maybe I need to, work after I do this or work out before. Everybody's different. So don't be afraid to really just try different things until something sticks. But at the same token, give yourself a shot to actually give things a good go.
For sure. Okay, so as a new coach, do you remember like what some of your goals were when you were first setting them up?
Oh, yeah. So my first goal, like I mentioned, was to make $500 a month to help my husband pay off student loan debt, which I accomplished actually within like my first 2 to 3 months of working the business after January of that year. And then my other goals were, after I had my like coach epiphany listening to Chalene Johnson, was Success Club All-Star, Success Club 5 All-Star. I was like, I need to help 3 people a month. Like, I already did it. I need to make this a daily habit. 34 months later, I still have. It's not hard or scary at all. I remember making that goal and thinking, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm gonna be able to hit Success Club every month for a whole year. What? No, I can't do that. Oh my gosh, yes, you can. Like, you have to give yourself permission to do that. If you believe in yourself and you give yourself permission to do it, then you will. You absolutely will. Everything will fall into place. You have to back it up with work, obviously, but it starts with that belief you have inside. So that was my other goal. And then I became Emerald like right after that too. I wanted to become an Emerald coach for forever. Actually, I have my first vision board that I want to share with you. It's in my closet. I just looked at it today. So let me go grab it really fast. Hang on 1 second.
She's like the most organized person in the entire world. It's amazing. She's some goals. Those books that she talked about, the Living Your Best Year Ever, there's a free audio copy and I think the workbook in our team page. So you guys can check that out too.
All right. Emma, I don't know if I heard you saying I was organized, but...
Yeah, you are. It's amazing. I love it.
No, I'm not. I just look. That's what I want you guys. I want everybody to think.
Well, it's working. It's working. We believe you.
No, I just have one closet where all my crap is. So this was what we used for our wedding guest list for the seating arrangements, and I made this 2 months after I became a coach. I actually haven't shared it with anybody before. So, but since we're talking about it, I thought it would be really fun. I made it. I had been a coach for 2 months. I had hit Success Club for the first time ever. And I didn't really know where I was going with the business. Everything seemed so out of reach. I didn't know how I was going to do all this stuff. All I knew is that I just had to try. And that's what really sparked everything for me. And, now I don't have to have a desk job again and, all the fun stuff. So here it is, guys.
Yay!
So this says, I am a diamond coach. So I want you guys to really, think about yourself as where you want to be. I am an elite 5-star diamond coach. I am a Success Club all-star. Like, think of yourself as that person already. And then I have, if you don't build your dreams, someone will hire you to build theirs. So I have the quote.
That quote terrifies me.
Huh?
So that quote terrifies me.
Oh,
I say it to scare myself straight. I'm like, whoa.
I think sometimes it's like worthwhile to like fear monger yourself into doing things also. Like, think about, okay, your vision board, but also like the anti-vision board, like what will happen if you don't do these things. Tony Robbins has an exercise of that at UPW. It's terrifying. You go down like this dark rabbit hole, but it's like, okay, I can't ever not invite people to this because otherwise these things will happen. And then, yeah, I have like these images that make me happy. And that was it. Like, I just have some quotes on here. So, yeah, that was my first vision board. Come a long way since then.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. Do you guys have any questions? I have like a couple more that I would love to ask you, but if anybody else has a question, go ahead and pop it into the chat group. I can't really see it from here, but
I can read them too if you can't see it.
oh, okay. Are there any questions, Logan?
None right now, no.
Okay. Ellen, can you talk a little bit about how important this time of year is as we head into the holidays? Because we've been talking about this in some videos, but really just touch on how the work that we're doing now will set us up to enjoy the work we're doing now determines like what type of holiday that we want to have. So
yeah. So definitely think about what kind of Christmas you want to have too in the holiday season. Having that foresight is really important with this business, but also because this is the best time of the year to be a coach, because it's going to set you up for an incredible beginning of the year and incredible end of the year. Transform 20 is happening. Like, already be thinking about your marketing plan for that. How are you going to capitalize on that this holiday season? For me, I'm doing the Sandy Max 30 again, starting tomorrow, like so that I can talk about Shanti and the results that I'm getting. Well, talk about the results I'm getting first, and then mention that Shanti helps me in private conversations. But there's so many like things that you can do this time of year that are going to help. Like, you can run, push groups. You can, really dial things in and link up with people too, because this is a time of year when I think people are kind of more MIA with like the holidays, and it's hard to get a hold of people. So really make sure that like first you have a success partner to like really, really keep each other accountable this time of year. So link arms with one person, a couple people. I think that that's really important. And then just know what you're showing up for, like I mentioned earlier, every single day, because what you do now in September will not fully come to fruition until like 2, 3, 4, 5 months down the road. Okay, so what you do now is going to dictate how your December and how your launch of Transform 20 goes. It's going to dictate how your New Year goes. And I went from like a diamond coach January of this past year. I was a 1-star before, but I went from a paid diamond coach to like a 3-star diamond coach in like 3 months. And I was able to quit my job like the month that I decided, because I worked hard this time last year. I wanted to become team leader in January of this past, or before, I was pushing for it before the end of last year, and I missed that goal. But guess what? It happened the month after that. So really just, deciding where you're going to max out your time, how you're going to be the most effective, and, doing that 12-year week, that 12-year, what is it, the 12, I can't talk, I'm so sorry, the 12-week year, doing that and deciding what those daily actions are going to be and just executing on them. Like, make it a non-negotiable. And I know that like we throw that word around as coaches like candy, like make it a non-negotiable, but I'm serious. Like, if you make success a non-negotiable, no matter what that looks like, no matter if you don't reach your goal, if you get there and way further ahead than you ever would have gotten if you hadn't set the goal in the first place, that's successful. And making that a non-negotiable is what's going to always, always, always make your business season-proof. And, it's going to be life-proof, honestly. And then also, I recommend to contingency plan this time of the year, because like I mentioned, the holidays come up, people go MIA, you can't get a hold of people. Like, figure out what obstacles are going to be happening in the next 3 months for you. Are you traveling? Are you going out of town for stuff? Are you going into a qualification period for a new rank or things like that? And really just always have a plan B and a plan C to all of that. And don't ever like let up on your action. You should always be leading with your action too. I threw like a bunch out there for you guys, but those are my things for getting through this end of the year.
There's
yeah.
a question. And you can kind of a shortened version, I guess, because this is kind of a general question, but any suggestions on achieving Emerald and growing your business?
Yeah, achieving Emerald is super easy. Just sign up 2 people. So you can sign up a spouse or a parent. So I called my dad and I was like, hey dad, you want to buy some Shakeology? It's really good for you. And I know you don't like to eat vegetables. So I signed him up for a coach account, and then I signed up my husband. And I got the performance line for him, well, actually just for me. And then another thing you can do if you have a spouse that you can sign up as well. I love getting the 3-day refresh challenge pack because you basically get better than coach price on it with your commission that you get back from it. So always sign up, use the U+2 policies. That's like the easiest way to go Emerald. And the second easiest way is to literally invite every single person you know to this business or to your challenge group, and then sign them up as a coach when they decide that they want to do this with you. Emerald is the decision. That's all that it is. It's not this like lofty, hard thing. It's literally the beginning of your business. So just treat it as such, and be excited to offer this to every single person, because you know what it's going to do for you. You have your vision, you know where you're going. So inviting other people to come along for that journey should be pretty darn easy. And then growing your business. Do all the things that I talked about on this call, and your business will grow, I promise. And if not, you can send me a message and tell me that none of it works.